Petropolis, Brazil, February 2022.
This is so terrible. My friends are all buried, all dead. Oh, my friends.
The water was 2 meters high. A lot of water, a lot of water. We haven't seen anything like what happened here yesterday. I don't even know what to say. We lost everything, that's it. A complete loss.
The enemy is attacking suddenly, again. People are not warned. There is no effective help. Rescuers cannot cope with such a scale of consequences. How long will this go on? The real war is going on. And what are we doing? Are we reinforcing the front lines? No. How long can we remain inactive and silently watch people like us dying? Storms in Europe, February 2022. The number of storms in Europe is growing before our eyes. 33 storms have hit residents of European countries in the last year and a half alone. This is exactly as many as over the 9 years from 2010 to 2018. For the first time, 3 deadly storms hit northern Europe within several days.
There was a terrible rumble. Through the window, one could see the roofs of neighboring houses being torn off. Bricks started to fall on their heads.
I'm in despair because once again, here it is, it's freezing cold in this house. It's a very cold house anyway, and there's no news.
On February 18th, Storm Eunice struck Great Britain. The wind gusts on the Isle of Wight reached 196 kilometers an hour, which is an absolute record for the entire history of observations in England. The wind felled trees, tore off the roofs of houses. Millions of homes were left without electricity. Storm Eunice became the most expensive storm in Europe since 2010. Australia, February through April. Natural disasters cascade over the same region. People do not even have time to come to their senses. From the end of February to the beginning of April, residents of Australia's east coast experienced 3 historically unprecedented floods in 100 years. In 2 states, more than the annual precipitation norm fell in a week.
The flood really occurred around 2 or 3 in the morning. Most people were asleep in their beds. So this was a case of not realizing and waking up to strange sounds and noises and realizing there was water in your bedroom and you're on a 2nd-story building and you no longer can get out of your house. The cities now, they look like a war zone, and there's nothing much left for people to recover.
There's 26 of us on the roof waiting to be rescued. As you can see, all our cars are now destroyed. Something I've never ever seen in my life.
Everyone has lost absolutely everything. It's absolutely devastating.
Thousands of people were forced to leave their flooded homes several times. In Sydney, March was the rainiest in the history of meteorological observations. The city of Lismore, with a population of about 44,000, was completely flooded. Japan, March 2022.
Hey everybody. So about 20 minutes ago, we had a really strong earthquake we experienced here in Tokyo. It was actually, epicenter was up in Fukushima. The news is saying 7.3, 7.4.
USA, March through April 2022.
This is a tornado. This has got to be a tornado. Oh my gosh.
March continued the frightening statistics on the number of tornadoes in the U.S. This month, 226 tornadoes were recorded, and this is an absolute record since the beginning of observations.
And I honestly didn't think I was going to live through this one. I thought we were going to die. We barely made it into the room. 5-10 more seconds, we would have been in the hallway, which is nothing.
I ran into my master bedroom closet and just sat in there, and I came out and noticed everything was destroyed.
We are not blind. We see that the situation is beyond our control. The real causes have not been studied, and we have no solutions. The Philippines, April 2022. In April, Tropical Storm Mega hit the Philippines. Heavy rains have caused large-scale landslides in the Leyte province.
It sounded like an explosion. We ran up to the hill to see what was going on. It was awful. We could hear people crying, calling out for help.
Your house was swept away by the mud.
Yes, it was gone after it was hit. I was afraid for my children. I did everything I could, but I lost hold of my child because I was under the water and swallowing mud and water.
South Africa, April 2022. Residents of South Africa were hit by an incredible amount of precipitation. Near the city of Durban, almost 6 months of precipitation fell in 48 hours, breaking the record for the entire history of observations. This caused the deadliest flood in South African history.
There were houses over here, and the flood just took all these houses that were here and goes straight to the water.
We heard people shouting. My brother and father tried to rescue them, but by then the houses were covered by water and the tree collapsed on the houses. We didn't know what happened to them.
I just want you to listen to the cries of family members who lost their loved ones. It's very painful to listen to.
The past 5 months have convincingly shown that cataclysms are becoming more and more abnormal, unpredictable, and destructive. The worst climate forecasts are coming true right before our eyes. Even with a huge international monitoring team, we are not able to cover the full scale of what is happening. Floods, heavy snowfalls, fires, storms, and tornadoes have swept through all the continents. Every country has experienced the attack of our common enemy, the climate. We need to face the truth. We are not ready for this.